What's up everyone, Shinobi Bros Official is back and will give the updates about Anime World. In this video, we will discuss about Anime Boruto episode 227 entitled Team 7's Last Mission. But before that, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe so that Shinobi Bros will continue to improve in providing info and updates. Let's get right into the video. In previous episode entitled Samurai vs Science, Boruto and Mitsuki, whose names were called, did not arrive on time and ended up being disqualified from exam. Meanwhile, the last match and final exam between Denki from Team 5 against Tsubaki from Team 15, Denki won after the two fought quite fiercely. Who would have thought, Denki, who belittled because of his weak body, actually managed to win against a samurai with his tenacity and scientific ninja tools. Denki's victory has demonstrated new possibilities for scientific ninja tools in future. Meanwhile, Tsubaki, who intended to return to her village, cancelled it because she wanted to hone her skills, and would return when she had truly become a Chunin. With this Chunin exam has ended, and the ones who managed to become Chunin are Denki, Hoki, Wasabi, and Sarada. Regardless of whether they won or lost in this Chunin exams, they all at least happy to see their friends win and become Chunin, which meant that they had all matured into shinobi. In addition, each winner also given a Chunin vest as a sign that they have officially become Konoha Chunin. In this episode entitled Team 7's Last Mission, the story will focus on the fate of Team 7 after Sarada becomes a Chunin. Because as we know only Sarada passed to become Chunin, while Boruto and Mitsuki failed to become Chunin because they had been disqualified. The new Team 7 will be under the leadership of Sarada, and they will be on a mission to save Konohamaru. Who would have thought? A mission that originally just a simple mission, turned out to be a dangerous mission that threatens their life. After the final exam over, Konoha's conditions seemed to be better than before. The initial goal of holding Chunin exams was a success, which to entertain all Konoha residents from feeling restless due to Ashiki Otsutsuki's previous attack. The spirit and hope of Konoha residents have been revived after seeing the excitement of the battles carried out by the Ganin in Chunin exams. Despite the success of Chunin exams, Konoha still cannot relax because there are still many threats that lurk out there. Considering that Chunin exams have just been completed, that means there will be many new missions waiting for Konoha because Konoha was busy taking care of Chunin exams. In this way, many Chunin were sent to various locations to complete existing missions, and one of them Mirai Sarutobi, who was sent to carry out B-class mission, which intended for experienced Chunins. But because at that time Konoha short of people considering many ninjas on missions, Konohamaru, which is a Jonin sent to assist his cousin, Mirai. The mission should be very easy and simple, especially there is Konohamaru, who is one of Konoha's prided Jonin. On the other hand, Boruto and Mitsuki agreed to wake up early after the fierce fight between the two the previous day. Boruto and Mitsuki fought because they didn't have time to fight in final exam due to being disqualified, and want to wake up early because they want to surprise Sarada, who has become a Chunin. Boruto and Mitsuki feel a little guilty towards Sarada because both of them have broken the promise they made the day before the final exam, where they will become Chunin together and fight fiercely whoever they face. Therefore the two wanted to surprise Sarada, and then celebrate the day Sarada became a Chunin with Konohamaru. However, Boruto and Mitsuki's plan totally failed because Sarada knew very well the nature of her two friends, and had been waiting for their presence. Boruto sighed, feeling a little annoyed that his plans with Mitsuki could be guessed so easily, while Mitsuki just smiled as usual. Even though Sarada had become a Chunin and gotten a Chunin vest the day before, she chose not to wear it, and this made Boruto ask why Sarada not wearing her Chunin vest. Sarada replied with annoyance that all because of Boruto and Mitsuki. The three of them have made a promise to become Chunin together, and that's what makes Sarada not want to wear her Chunin vest until the three of them have become Chunin together. Boruto, who usually contrary to Sarada's words, now seems more silent, and lowers his head while apologizing to Sarada. Sarada once again sighed and said that everything had happened, and confirmed that her two friends would really become Chunin in the next exam. While having small talk, the three of them walked to where Konohamaru was. Because as we know the three will celebrate the day Sarada become a Chunin, and it would not be complete without the presence of their teacher, Konohamaru. But what happened? Konohamaru wasn't in his room at that time, making Boruto and the others feel a little confused considering this had never happened before. Moreover, the three of them came in the morning where Konohamaru is supposed to be in his room. However, Boruto and the others are still trying to think positively, while trying to find Konohamaru elsewhere. Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki then decided to split up to find Konohamaru. Unfortunately, despite going from place to place, Konohamaru is still nowhere to be found. Even though what they're going to do isn't that important, Boruto and the others will feel very lonely if Konohamaru doesn't come to Sarada's celebration of becoming a chunin. In the midst of feeling sad because Konohamaru doesn't seem to remember that one of his students has become a chunin, they suddenly find a seriously injured Mirai being taken to Konoha Hospital. Don't know why at that moment Boruto's body seemed to tremble. It felt like something stuck in his heart when he saw Mirai full of wounds. Therefore Boruto followed Mirai to Konoha Hospital, which followed by Sarada and Mitsuki, who were worried about Mirai's condition. When they entered the surgery room, they found Sai watching the operation behind the glass. At that time the task of healing Mirai handled by Sakura, who famous is the greatest medic ninja, and accompanied by Mirai's mother, Kurenai. Mirai's condition at that time severe enough that Sakura must be the one to carry out an operation on Mirai. While watching the operation process, Boruto asks Sai about what happened to Mirai. Sai replied that he also did not know the exact cause, but at this time Mirai's situation quite precarious because she's on the verge of death. Sai also said that Mirai had previously been on a B-class mission that shouldn't have been so dangerous with Konohamaru. Hearing Konohamaru's name made Team 7 really surprised. So that's the reason why they couldn't find Konohamaru anywhere, and the reason why there was an uneasy feeling for Boruto when he saw Mirai covered in wounds. Boruto anxiously asks where Konohamaru now, because he didn't see Konohamaru anywhere even when Mirai taken to Konoha Hospital. Sai replied that of the few people sent to carry out the mission only Mirai had returned, which means Konohamaru has not yet returned. Boruto completely speechless and couldn't say anything. If Mirai could be made to this extent, then Boruto didn't want to imagine the worst that could happen to his teacher. Sai only reminded Team 7 that all they could do for now was wait until the operation successful, and Mirai came back to her senses to tell what had happened. Team 7 and Sai watched the healing operation process with full hope that Mirai would be fine. As expected, after going through a long and tiring procession, Mirai finally came back to her senses even though her body still very weak. Although Sakura and Kurenai told Mirai to rest her body, she forced herself to tell the truth about what made her like this. Mirai explained that their mission was simply to find information about the syndicate that had kidnapped Amato, and everything went well at first. Unexpectedly, the syndicate had anticipated the arrival of Mirai and Konohamaru, so that counters had been set up in various places. This should have been an easy mission, but things got very messy once their whereabouts were discovered by those people. It seems that the syndicate was very careful after their failure to kidnap Amato, because in addition to setting up a trap, they also apparently had hired many of rogue shinobi. The situation at that time was impossible for them to fight considering that there were only Mirai and Konohamaru, while the enemy had many troops. Here Konohamaru told Mirai to run away, giving information about what was happening here and conveyed a message to Konoha to send reinforcements, while he'll hold the enemy until Mirai managed to escape. Even though Mirai managed to return to village, she was seriously injured due to many shinobi chasing her, and that's why Mirai in a state between life and death. After explaining this, Mirai lost consciousness as a side effect of trying to force herself to speak. In this way Sai returned to Hokage residence to convey the information to Naruto, which followed by Team 7. After hearing Sai's explanation, Naruto really did not expect that the situation could turn out like this. He understood the message Konohamaru sent through Mirai, and did plan to send reinforcements, but at the moment Konoha was short on people to send reinforcements. Here Mitsuki calmly said that Konohamaru would be fine. Because Konohamaru he knows is very strong and doesn't give up easily. Mitsuki believes that Konohamaru must have reasons and plans for why he stays there. Sarada added that Team 7 will be able to coordinate well with Konohamaru, because they are teachers and students who have gone on many missions together. And because of that Sarada asked Naruto to let Team 7 take on this mission and save Konohamaru. Shikamaru there tried to retort by saying that this mission was too dangerous for them, and Naruto also agreed with Shikamaru's words. But here Naruto saw Boruto's eyes filled with determination, and this reminded Naruto of his old self who didn't care about any danger he faced to save someone precious. Naruto relented in this situation, and changed his mind by allowing Team 7 to complete this mission, contrary to Shikamaru's disapproving thought given how dangerous this mission was. However, Shikamaru had no choice but to give in, as they currently had no other chunin to send as reinforcements. Meanwhile, in order to lead the team to stay organized, it has been decided that Sarada will be the commander, and carry out the mission as Team 7 with Boruto and Mitsuki. It is possible that this mission will also be their last mission, considering that Sarada has become a Chunin, while Boruto and Mitsuki are still stuck at Ganon level. Naruto reminds that Team 7's mission is only to save Konohamaru, and orders them all to return safely. After Sarada was appointed to be the team commander and preparations had been made, in this way Team 7 rushed to the place where Konohamaru was under Sarada's leadership, and Konohamaru rescue mission began. Not wanting to waste any time, the three of them rushed very quickly across the village border. Even though Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki are very confident about taking on this mission, in reality they are quite anxious every time they imagine what kind of enemy could make Mirai almost die like that. Sarada once again reminded her team members not to be rash, and put their lives first because it was an order from Hokage. Boruto didn't expect that their first mission after Sarada became a Chunin was a mission to rescue their teacher, and that the ones who kidnapped him were the same as the group of people who had kidnapped Amato, which basically the main reason why Boruto and Mitsuki were disqualified. On the other hand, Konohamaru already covered in bruises and his body was bound so he could neither fight nor run away. Even so, he looked very calm as if he had deliberately allowed himself to be caught by the enemy. Shortly after Konohamaru was caught, there's a bespectacled man with a large body who introduced himself as the boss of this place. He was seen smiling happily seeing his men manage to capture one of the great jonin owned by Konoha. He thought that by capturing Konohamaru, he could take Konohamaru as a hostage in exchange for Amato. Konohamaru didn't take the person's words seriously at all, and instead smiled like he was insulting him. Konohamaru says that he doesn't care at all what happens to him, and bad people don't get what they want. Provoked, the person beat Konohamaru who couldn't fight back until his body fell, and then left him lying on the ground just like that. Konohamaru understood very well that these people would not dare to kill him, until they got what they wanted, Amato. So Konohamaru several times tried to provoke these people to let their guard down, while waiting for reinforcements to arrive. Back to Team 7's point of view, which heading to where Konohamaru was, they stopped midway to rest for a while and strategize when they arrived in enemy territory. Even though she had come this far, Sarada suddenly said that she wasn't really sure whether she deserved to be a team commander or not. There were still many doubts in her, especially in terms of experience and fighting ability. Sarada thinks that Boruto and Mitsuki's fighting experience is far more than her. If only Boruto or Mitsuki became Chunin, maybe they are more worthy of being the leader than her. Here Boruto says that he doesn't really care who will be their leader, but if he had to choose, he would certainly choose Sarada regardless of the rivalry between the two of them. There are many reasons why Boruto prefers Sarada, but the main thing is that she is calm and can make wise decisions regardless of whatever situation they face. Basically Boruto thinks that Sarada is the most appropriate person as a unifier among Team 7. Likewise with Mitsuki, even though Boruto is his son, Mitsuki thinks that Sarada is the most suitable person as a team commander. Mitsuki wants Sarada to be the commander of Team 7 just like their fight against Boro. If at that time Sarada did not order Team 7 to withdraw, it is certain at that time all members of Team 7 would be wiped out by Boro. Once again Mitsuki called Sarada as captain, and asked her to guide Team 7 to bring victory in this mission. Feeling her spirits returned, Sarada adjusted the position of her glasses, and then said that she would try to fulfill her two friends' wishes as Chunin. This will also probably be Sarada's last mission with Team 7, so she will do her best to show that she can live up to people's expectations of her. Meanwhile, the color of the sky slowly turned red, indicating that it was already late afternoon, while Team 7 still had not arrived at their destination. The people who had been beating Konohamaru all this time began to stop one by one, because they felt that the blows they launched didn't seem very useful to Konohamaru. Besides that, they also felt a little horrified because no matter how they hit Konohamaru, he was still smiling while enduring the pain which he thought was nothing. Apart from this, Konohamaru almost lost consciousness because he had been in this place all day with his hands and feet tied. If this went on any longer, Konohamaru wasn't sure if he could endure it any longer or not. Luckily, at that time there were also Boruto, Mitsuki and Sarada who were already perched on a tree, waiting for the momentum to save their teacher. The people there did not seem to know the presence of Team 7 other than Konohamaru, who immediately realized it after feeling the presence of chakra from his students. It's just that Konohamaru didn't think that the reinforcements sent from Konoha were his own students, and he was also proud to see their cooperation to be able to find his whereabouts with very little information. They managed to find Konohamaru's whereabouts using Mitsuki's white snake, just like how Boruto and Mitsuki found Amato before. While Boruto keeps an eye on the surroundings so that there are no sudden attacks, Sarada uses her Sharingan to see and detect the enemies that are there. From here it is shown that there were hundreds of enemies, now there are only about tens, most of whom have probably been defeated by Mirai and Konohamaru before. Sarada plans to free Konohamaru because technically she knows where the enemy is, while Boruto and Mitsuki will Sarada plan to distract and guard her while freeing Konohamaru. Just as Sarada was about to give information and arrange what steps they would take next, suddenly there was a sudden attack coming from behind. The attack was in the form of a large number of kunai emerging from under them, and there were several ninja attacking with swords. This attack really surprised them because they didn't expect that there would be a sudden attack. Sarada thought that maybe this was the attack that Mirai meant earlier, thus explaining why Mirai and Konohamaru could be so cornered, because the attack that was launched was really unexpected. Even so, Sarada managed to dodge the sudden attack with ease. Meanwhile, Boruto didn't have time to dodge, but he managed to survive thanks to Mitsuki pushing his body before the attack hit him. But instead it was Mitsuki who was hit by the attack, by scratching his right arm. Even though it was just a scratch, the attack immediately weakened Mitsuki's body, like there was a poison contained in it. Just then a person known as the boss of a booth that was there appeared, saying that one was over while looking at Mitsuki who had fallen limply. In this situation Sarada and Boruto are really in a corner, because their opponents count in the tens while currently only the two of them are left. The person asked Boruto and Sarada to give up like Konohamaru who is currently unable to move anymore. But here Sarada and Boruto did not budge at all, and put up a position ready to fight. Feeling his warning was ignored, the man ordered his men to kill Boruto and Sarada, whether they wanted to live or die. They currently only need Konohamaru, and don't need Kid who they think are worthless. He also wants to use the deaths of Boruto and Sarada as a warning not to fight back. Boruto immediately used a shadow clone to compensate for their loss in numbers, while Sarada activated her Sharingan followed by a great fireball technique, which managed to hit several enemies that came their way. Meanwhile, while everyone was fighting, Mitsuki surprisingly had bounced back like he wasn't hurt at all. As is known, Mitsuki's body has been made in such a way to ward off poison. Therefore Mitsuki can get back up even though poison enters his body. In addition, Mitsuki, Boruto and Sarada also seem to have thought about how Mirai and Konohamaru, who are included in the ranks of Konoha's elite shinobi, can be defeated just like that. Therefore before the fight started, Mitsuki had spread his white snake to several points, and when he fell unconscious, the snake would move in place of him who was lying weak. The white snake secretly took a sample of the kunai that hit his arm, and found that it contained poison that could suppress a person's chakra flow, making the body weak and unable to use ninjutsu. Meanwhile Mitsuki uses a white snake to turn the sample he gets into an antibody. And when the antibodies have been successfully made, then he stops pretending that he was exposed to a poison. Mitsuki deliberately did this to keep people from focusing on him, while himself creating antibodies for him to use against Konohamaru who he believed was affected by the poison as well. In this way Konohamaru was able to be free and soon his strength returned. Boruto and Sarada smiled seeing their plan had worked, and then rushed towards Mitsuki and Konohamaru. The four of them have regrouped, and Konohamaru says that he is proud of his students even though he didn't think that it was Team 7. Boruto only responded that Konohamaru should not forget that Sarada has become a chunin, to which Konohamaru responded a little surprised, because he actually forgot that today was supposed to be a celebration for Sarada. However, this time they must defeat the enemy in front of them before they can return to Konoha, and this will likely be the last mission for Team 7. With the reunion of Team 7, Sarada commanded her team to beat them all. As expected of Team 7, Sarada, Boruto, Mitsuki and Konohamaru easily beat almost everyone in an instant. The person seemed so annoyed with the Konoha ninja because their almost successful plan had been torn down just like that. Right now these people had no other choice but to run away, because fighting Team 7 and Konohamaru would be very troublesome. He says that this is not the end of everything and throws a smoke bomb to give a blind effect to escape. But at that moment Boruto used his wind release, dispelling the smoke that was blocking the view. Not only that, Boruto also pushed Sarada by using his Boruto stream, making Sarada slide very fast. The combination of attacks between Boruto and Sarada creates an attack that is very fast and strong, so that person can't dodge and is hit by a heavy blow from Sarada. With just this single combination of attacks, the person fell unconscious. Seeing the cooperation between Team 7 made Konohamaru smile, feeling proud of the progress that was happening to his students. Konohamaru thinks that maybe Boruto, Sarada and Mitsuki are now stronger than him. After all have been defeated, Konohamaru and Team 7 returned to Konoha with the people they had defeated. The return of Team 7 was greeted by Mirai, who had recovered even though her body still looked weak. Konohamaru handed these people over to the Konoha police, while he and Team 7 went to the Hokage residence to report to Naruto with Mirai. There they explained everything that had happened, and the reason why he had stayed there even though he had escaped. Initially Konohamaru couldn't move because of the poison that infected his body. But after some time the effect faded, and Konohamaru continued his pretense of digging up information about the syndicate. Unfortunately, before his efforts paid off, Team 7 came first to save him, and now he has handed over all cases to the Konoha police. After the report was over, Boruto once again reminded Konohamaru not to forget that today they were going to celebrate the day Sarada became a Chunin. For the second time Konohamaru was surprised that he had again forgotten about this, but immediately regained his posture and asked them to go somewhere, even though he had not thought about it himself. Until in the end they ended up at Ichiraku Ramen, because this place was the safest choice for them. Konohamaru says that he will treat them as payment for saving him, to which Boruto responds unenthusiastically because Konohamaru looks so much like his father when it comes to food. Despite his protests, they enjoy their time together at Ichiraku Ramen happily. Konohamaru did think that the students he was educating did have potential, but he didn't expect that their potential would be this great as shown during their collaboration earlier. In this situation Konohamaru imagined how they were first placed into a team. At that time Team 7 was not very compact because Sarada and Boruto always clashed with each other, while Mitsuki just smiled following the flow. But looking at now, Konohamaru is grateful that Boruto, Sarada and Mitsuki were placed into a team under his guidance. Imagining this made Konohamaru shed a few tears which he quickly wiped away, saying that this ramen was too delicious. While Team 7 joked and chatted with each other, Konohamaru took a deep breath, and then said congratulations on becoming a Chunin to Sarada. Team 7 has completed the last mission very well, and from this moment they will be on a mission as Team Sarada, where Sarada will be the commander while Konohamaru is on duty on another mission. The conclusion of this episode entitled Team 7's Last Mission is, the story will focus on Team 7 who completed their last mission to save Konohamaru. Who would have thought? A mission that was originally just a simple mission, turned out to be a dangerous mission that threatens lives. Under the leadership of Sarada, who has become the team commander, Team 7 successfully completed the rescue mission perfectly. Those who at first were very uncooperative, have now become a team with very high cooperation. That's all for news updates from Shinobi Bros Official. What do you think about this video? Give your opinion in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss updates about the anime world. Thanks for watching, see you next time.